Hey, seventh grade. Happy gonna be Tuesday. I'm actually filming this Monday after school, getting a little comfortable. My hair's a little messier than normal because of the rain, but let's jump right to this. Make it short. First off, Happy New Year. Hope your break was really good. I tried to encourage you beforehand to have some fun and get away from all the stress that could be plaguing you in 2020. We hope this calendar year will be better for you, but I really, really hope you had a good holiday, however you and your family celebrate it. Also, I'd love if you could, on your goals page, that should be early in your agenda. And for you guys that still have your agenda, good job using a valuable tool. Hopefully, your teachers are encouraging you to do so. What are your second trimester goals? I'm just curious. Hopefully, you wrote them down. If not, you're not beginning with the end in mind and going to be kind of a rudderless ship that can just be taken wherever. How are you doing so far? We're not quite halfway through this trimester, but just know that a change on a calendar year can be seen as momentum. If you were slacking off and not making as much progress towards your goal, that's okay. Today is a new day. This is a new year. You can do better. You can be a better version of yourself by keeping those goals in mind. And speaking of being a better person, so our WTMS core values: work hard, take responsibility, make positive choices, and show respect. I almost changed the word respect to kindness this year because I feel like for some of you guys, there's this idea of respect has to be earned, and I get that. I think of that more as kind of like revering somebody. Okay, you respect their expertise and how they are as a person, and that seems like it's a thing left for adults. What I think is everyone, no matter what, is deserving of kindness. Your peers, your staff. Certainly, you may need to treat your staff a little bit. Your teachers, a little bit differently than just your fellow classmates. But everyone, I think everyone's deserving of respect. You don't have to bow down to them, but they're a human being. Okay, but I think that if you're going to be the sort of student we want that has a successful time here, and you guys are kind of strangely, as seventh graders, almost halfway through your seventh grade second try, you're about halfway through your time at WTMS, which seems pretty crazy. You guys are pretty young. So hopefully you learn that everybody deserves common courtesy and respect and kindness. And that's one of my pet peeves when people grow to adulthood and can't do that. So I hope you can. All right. We are wrapping up our second unit finally. So remember, you guys are sort of the trial run for this second step program that we're trying out as a social emotional learning curriculum. Unit 1 was about goals and mindsets, which was fine. We're wrapping up Unit 2, recognizing bullying and harassment. Last week, we started talking about how to, since we've defined a lot of stuff, different types of harassment and bullying, we started to dip our toe into the idea of okay, now we know what the problems are or could be at our school in terms of harassment and bullying. What do we do about it? All right. So we decided that first we should know that you have certain rights, including to come to school and to feel safe and comfortable, and then responsibility or duties here at school. So the second step lesson for this week as we wrap up this unit 2 had kind of an in-class assignment, and the format for pod and our lessons are a little bit more challenging to do stuff like that. So I pulled on some of my old material to wrap up this unit and help us hopefully end harassment as best we can at WTMS. So let's review what bullying and harassment really are. And what I would tell you, let's focus on bullying to start with. Let's see if I can get my face out of the way somewhere. Big old head of mine. To have true bullying being taken place, not something that's just rudeness or meanness, which those are not great either, but rudeness might be a little bit deliberate. Somebody was just not paying, or indeliberate, just not paying attention and cut in line or something and said maybe a word that was a little more harsh than they realized. A meanness is a bit more deliberate, but to go full bullying, you did it definitely on purpose. There's some cruelty there. It's repetitive. It's aggressive and targeted towards somebody, and there's some sort of imbalance of power, meaning you're older, bigger, stronger. Maybe you perceive that you have a social superiority for some whatever silly reason, or there's more people, two or three on one. Harassment and bullying, we spent some time splitting hairs and saying, that how is this different. What I would say is harassment becomes you're targeted because of some aspect of who you are or what you're perceived to be, like your gender, race, or religion. Okay, so that's why there's like sexual harassment, gender discrimination, things like that. Okay, so now we know what it is. You are going to fall into one of these three roles when you're here at school. Okay, and you'll notice that these two bubbles over here are a little bit smaller. I think that bullying and harassment happens at WTMS, but maybe less than we think, because a lot of other times it can fall into that rude or mean behavior. And it's kind of a two-way shared responsibility pie. I hate that this makes only two options, okay? Sometimes people who say I've been bullied, I'll look into the matter, and they were part of the problem as well. It was more of just a student conflict. So when we do have these true bullying harassment situations, let's talk about the bully for a second. If you feel like maybe you've slipped into that role, and I think I have. It's been a long time since I was a kid, but what should you try to remember? Well, first off, check your paradigm a little bit, those pairs of glasses. You and your mind have ignored the golden rule. You've got away from your empathetic feelings for those people, and you think that almost they deserve that treatment. No one deserves that sort of treatment. Your paradigm is faulty. And the good thing about paradigms is you can take off that pair of glasses and have the paradigm shift and focus on how would this make me feel? Okay. And so maybe your paradigm is, I just don't care. I'm not happy. I want to lash out. And if you feel like you've been a bit mean or harassing or bullying, just why are you targeting that person? Okay. Was it really that bad? And then how would the same behavior you're doing make you feel? Okay. If you feel like you're a victim in one of these situations, here's my advice for what you could do. If it's a stupid name, it's something that can be brushed off, and certainly not everything can. Okay. I'm not going to tell you suck it up and deal with it. But sometimes people saying stupid stuff makes them look stupid and not you. Okay. So if it can be, it's a one-time thing, maybe you can brush it off. If it repeats, and it really does, whether you try to brush it off or not, if it truly hurts you, honor your feelings. Okay, you should be aware of those things. So if it does truly hurt you, I encourage you to assertively communicate with the bully or the harasser. Don't aggressively communicate. Sixth grade, we were just talking about this in their video. The aggressive communicator pretty much just gets like 5 people and tries to beat them up. The assertive communicator is very clear that they don't appreciate that behavior and they want it to stop. Okay, they don't go looking to punch. I think that makes the problem worse, but they are also not going to get passively steamrolled. Okay, so assertively, clearly say what you're doing is not okay. And if you continue, there's going to be some problems. Okay, if those two things don't work, ask for some help from a friend, from an adult. We're here to help you. All right, so those are the rare things that roles that could happen. I think this one's a bit bigger. Whether it's on the internet or in school, there's a lot of people that are just watching. Okay, so let's talk about, and I pulled some stuff from that we may have looked at before, but I want you to be aware that you have some options in terms of being a witness. You can be a bystander, that's an easy option. You're just there, you're a spectator, but you're not participating. And if I come and talk to you, you say, well, I was just there, I didn't do anything. I wonder about that sometimes. The harder option, the more difficult one, is to be an upstander, which is kind of a made-up word, to stand up, as we talked about, and recognize that if something is wrong, you do something about it. You do your actions with logic and compassion for both people to try to make it right. Okay, so how could you be an upstander? Well, again, don't necessarily go in fist blazing, just trying to punch right away. There's other things you can do. What should you do? Support them right now. Just go stand next to them. Okay, in the moment, you'd be surprised how powerful that could be. Talk to them, walk them to class, say, hey, that's on them. That's not your fault. Share some kind words. So in the moment, be supportive for the person, the victim. Okay, you may be thinking you're fighting this good fight by going after the bully, but don't forget the person whose feelings are really being hurt. So as an upstander, you support them now. You can talk to the bully, again, assertively, cause more conflict. Hey, if somebody calls your friend an idiot and you hit him with a 2x4, you are the escalator. Okay, you made the problem worse. But remember, they're people; they're not monsters. If you can assertively say, "Hey, that's my friend. I can tell how upset they are. You should really stop." It doesn't fix everything, but it's a good step because some people do hear that and change their behavior. Remind them, "Hey, it's not okay at our school. Hurts their feelings, and it's against the rules." And I know that sounds like you're a goody-goody, but when I can see true harassment bullying, I'm coming for that person. And not to hurt them, but with some principle tactics that I do have. And what else should you do? Okay, in the moment, help them. Okay, maybe talk to the person, but you also can go for help. Okay, we as staff cannot help if we're in the dark. We want to see some of these things ourselves, certainly, but tell people at home, tell us, tell a trusted adult, hey, if you feel like you've tried to help your friend and it didn't solve the problem. Okay, so support them now, talk to the perpetrator, ask for help, and then support them later on. Small things are the biggest. Ask them if they're okay, share your own experiences, send them a text or snap, ask them how you can help. Send some positive vibes later on, because if you've truly been targeted and harassed and bullied, it's not something that generally you can't brush off. Yes, I encourage you to do that, but this is the sort of treatment that's hard to brush off. And it might be like everyone's coming at you on the internet. So show that you want to see them or help them. If you don't have their number, hey, the next time just say hi to them. Include them in your friend group, okay? There's a lot of options you have as an upstander. Okay, there's less of that than I realized, which is good because I got to go get my daughter from dance class, okay? So I think that any time that you're in one of those three roles, you have some options, but I think it's some self-reflection, saying, what am I doing here? If you often when we are mean, we can look back and say, well, I was upset at, you have to understand your own feelings. But remember, golden rule. If I did this to somebody, or excuse me, they did it to me, how would I feel? Okay. You're the victim. Maybe you can brush it off, maybe not. Okay? If your feelings are that hurt, assertively talk to the person and then ask for help. And then bystander, support them now. You can also talk to the bully, okay? Tell a trusted adult, and then support them later. Because I actually think we're doing all right this year. During stressful times, I've dealt with a little bit less in terms of fighting and bullying. It's still going on, but I think a lot of it comes from we just have a lot of good kids, and we think, and some mature kids, and know that that's not something we need to do here. So do your part, be an upstander, don't just stand there and do nothing. And I put John F. Kennedy's sword up because trying to source this quote is a little tricky. Some people attribute it to Kennedy, others don't. But it says the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is that good men do nothing. That's how rudeness and bullying and harassment persists in a place like our school, where people have the right to feel safe and comfortable, is when not a few bad apples ruin the whole barrel. Because some people are like, hey, that's not okay. We're going to assertively call that out and police ourselves a little bit, not with fists, but with clear, kind, assertive words. And everyone will feel a little bit more comfortable and safe. So I appreciate you guys listening. I actually don't remember what Unit 3 is for this second step stuff, so we'll find out next week. So thanks for listening. Welcome back to school. Hope it's going to be a great new year, and hope to talk to you soon. And I'll actually turn this off because sometimes I say bye and the video is still running. But bye. See you guys.